What's going on, you guys? Bayboy Views here. So making another video. Today is going to be about what happened yesterday and what's going on today. All right, so I told you we were going to make a video about the GOP debate. Great debate, but before we touch on that, I had no idea Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson was going to have an interview together. So this was really well planned out. So Donald Trump goes on Twitter with Tucker Carlson like 5 minutes before the other debate starts, okay? And they get 200 million views. That is not a small amount of numbers. So they're pulling more numbers, I think, than what they got. I don't have the statistics or anything, but I'm pretty sure they got way more numbers than the GOP debate got yesterday. So, very strategic move. I think they were just trying to, have everybody go to the attention on Donald Trump and then, worry about them later. And obviously it worked. I watched the Donald Trump interview. I think I'm not going to do it any justice. They talk about stuff that is just kind of out of my spectrum of knowledge. I'm not going to get into anything that's, within the lines of politics. I think I'm going to stick with the people that debate, and I'm not trying to involve myself in everything Donald Trump either. Obviously, he's ahead of the game, and he's #1 candidate on the GOP, all right? So a cool thing that I saw that happened is that after they ended the Tucker Carlson interview, the Fox News takes a break on the debate, and we're gonna get into that right now, okay? So let's go ahead and get into the debate that we have. So we talked about the people that are going to be on the list yesterday. So we had Tim Scott, Vivek Ramaswamy, Ron DeSantis, Mike Pence, Asa Hutchinson, Nikki Haley, Doug Burgum, and Chris Christie. Okay. Who did I personally think won from this debate? I personally think that Vivek came out on top. I think Ron DeSantis came out and he was in a strong position. Do I think that he did great? No, I think nobody went after him. And which is weird to me, because if he's polling as #2, you'd think that, these people would get real competitive and start coming after you. But no, they started coming after Vivek Ramaswamy, as everybody knows, the Indian guy. He did great yesterday. Very fluent with everything. He was on point with everybody, going back and forth, having conversations. And Nikki Haley actually came out really great yesterday. She came out tough, assertive, and, very war hungry, actually. And then the dude that I told you that I had no idea about, Doug Burgum, he seems like an honest to God person. I'm not going to discredit him. I just don't think he's going to get any real leeway or any real pull in this election. So I honestly do like that he came out. I like the points that he pointed out. I really like when they were talking about schools, that he said that I'm not the type of person to just start nagging and stuff like that. I'm gonna be the person that's gonna be sitting in the classroom watching what's going on, and but other than that, he just kind of seemed what we talked about with Nikki Haley, just kind of vanilla. Didn't really pull the eyes to the screen. Chris Christie, I didn't really know nothing about him. Now I know, and I don't care for him. All right, not a good presidential candidate, and I think he knows that. His campaign is solely ran on dog or fucking shitting on freaking Donald Trump. All right. So yeah, I think he knows he wasn't gonna be a no front runner. So let's get into it, huh? So the GOP debate. So basically, they said, "What do you think is going on in America, and how are we gonna turn this thing around?" Right? So Ron DeSantis comes out first, since he was the first on the polls. Reverse American decline. Bidenomics, which is they showed a video about Joe Biden and how America has been progressing with Bidenomics, even though we all know that we're in high inflation. The dollar's going to shit. All right. He comes for Hunter. So this guy is obviously on the offensive. Does not care. Lower gas prices by bringing energy dominance to and open up production. He did it in Florida, and he's gonna do it when he's in the White House. So that's what he's running on. So then next up was Tim Scott. Tax cuts and give back to the people. So whatever money is not going into the White House, or whatever money is not going into politicians' pockets, is going to go straight back to, the American people. I respect that. Nikki Haley, stop spending and borrowing. The Republicans did this to us too. So basically, they were saying that that she was going off on the claims that the Republicans were spending just as much money as the Democrats during this whole COVID thing, and we signed off on all these loans and trying to raise the debt ceiling, all that type of shit. I didn't know that. She brought that to the light. I'm glad that she brought it out to the light. And the Republican Party is not. They don't have clean hands either. They never have. But to me, their values are strong, and I like it. Mike Pence. So basically, they go into him and they go in on him, and they start saying, what's it called? That before COVID, they spent $3.5 trillion in the White House and the Donald Trump, Mike Pence presidency. So Mike Pence rebuttals: we were rebuilding the military, reviving the economy, and then put 3 Supreme Court justices in the Supreme Court. He also goes on to say that he is the best prepared for being in the White House, and that's why he thinks he should be in the White House. And you know how I feel about Mike Pence. Vivek Ramaswamy, he comes out straight. How are we going to fix America? Oh, we're going to drill, we're going to frack, and we're going to burn coal. All and embrace nuclear energy. So we're going to put people back to work. We're going to stop paying them to sleep on the stop paying them to be living in their homes, or not living in their homes, but the whole COVID thing where they were paying us to stay at home. Reform the FED, the Fed, stabilize the US dollar, go to war on the federal admin state, the regulators. All right. So I got to do some research on the federal admin state. But for everybody that knows anything about that, it makes sense. They're the ones that regulate everything that's going on in America. They oversee everything, and they give the okay, not okay. All right, so then Mike Pence, we don't need to bring in no rookie, as he says that to Vivek Ramaswamy. So yeah, Mike Pence and Vivek, they were debating and going back and forth the entire debate. I thought it was hilarious. And then Ron DeSantis comes back in. So he's saying that we're in this mess because of how we handled COVID-19 under the Biden administration, the lockdowns, the economy, and because he didn't follow those procedures, he thinks that he's better off being in the presidential office because of how he kept Florida open, and day one, it's how he would have handled it. I would have brought Anthony Fauci in, and I would have said, you know what, bro, you're fucking fired. And I was like, cool. I like that. So Vivek, he kind of rebuttals on everybody, and he says, you know what, I'm not one of these super PAC puppets. I'm not getting no PAC money. All right, all these freaking people here are getting PAC money. They're paid for. They're puppets. And what I'm here for is to give revolutionary reform. We're here for the revolution. Strong to be amongst 7 other motherfuckers and call them all PAC puppets. All right. Climate change, which is the next topic. All right. Ron DeSantis comes out. I handle disasters in Florida. I handle all this stuff that's been going on, and I think that I'm the best person because we don't need somebody like Joe Biden to be on the beach and lounging, and I need to be I'm the type of person that's going to be getting up and going and hustling and making sure that everything's straight away. All right, Vivek Ramaswamy comes out. All right, so this is the craziest thing of the whole debate, right? So Vivek comes out. He's the next one to talk. He comes out. Climate change is a hoax, everybody. Climate change is a fucking hoax, and they're trying to play you. So I'm gonna put my little 2 cents on this. I find it very convenient, the whole carbon tax system that they have coming up. And if you guys don't know about the carbon tax, I recommend going and check out a couple of videos on it. It's real, it's coming, and it's going to be how they are going to manipulate our freedoms, all in the name of climate change. So I'm 100% behind Vivek on this. And the reason why he comes out and says this is because I am not one of these motherfuckers that is getting paid for. I don't have PAC money. I have my own money. And I'm going to say this because everybody needs to hear this. So, probably don't believe like me. Maybe you think that climate change is changing everything. You guys can go ahead and leave your comments in below. Yeah. So more people are dying from the climate change policies than from climate change itself. What do you guys think about that one? Everybody on this stage is bought for. So then now the people with the asking the questions are asking everybody else is like, hey, Nikki Haley, are you paid for? It's like, no, of course not. And then Nikki Haley comes out and says, climate change is real. All right. And what I'm going to do as president is I'm going to go out and I'm going to tell China and I'm going to tell India that they need to stop. They need to stop and lower their emissions. So good luck with that, Nikki Haley. Honestly, you came out strong, but you lost my vote on that one. Good luck telling communist China and poor ass India to stop polluting the atmosphere, all to make money. All right. They are the biggest polluters in the world, India, China, and I don't think they're going to change. And not for the fact that they don't care about the planet, but I think that they want to live a good life. And who the fuck are we to tell them no? All right. Tim Scott up next. Oh, actually, hold on. So she did come up with a couple of points, actually. So good luck with that. Yeah, that's me saying that. Biden only helps China. Biden has only been helping China with this whole EV and new Green Deal by buying batteries from China, and some came from Germany, but for these EV vehicles that we have driving around. All right, so I'm a mechanic. I see these cars everywhere. I'm in California, so let me just tell you right now, it takes about 2 hours, 3 hours for these freaking batteries to get filled up. All right, you only drive for about 2 to 3 hours, and if you're going to a supercharge station or you're going to any type of station, there's a line for the freaking charger. So I'm not shitting on the EV cars. All right, I think they're great. I don't know about radiation that much, but I'm sure sitting on a big ass battery is probably not very healthy. All right, those are my 2 cents. All right, so now Tim Scott comes in. Climate change. How are we going to fix climate change? We're going to stop polluting with India. And well, actually, we don't really have things like that out there in India, but we're going to stop polluting with China, and we're going to bring the Chinese jobs that we have out there and bring them back to the US, and we're going to do that, and we're going to cut for the last 25 years, we've cut our carbon footprint in half. So everybody in the United States, that is true. We have been already on this initiative cutting our carbon footprint in half. All right, we are nowhere near China, India, Russia. We're nowhere near any of those people. All right, we're doing a great job in America making sure that we are not emitting carbon emissions just simply with catalytic converters. That's just on cars. On diesels, it depends on different states, but even then, your I want to say tiny, but your Duramax is not causing what a factory in China is causing. Okay, LA's different. There's a fuck ton of cars driving through that place all the freaking time, and there's always a smog cloud around because we got so many people driving in and out. And even then, it's not as bad as I'm sure that. I think it's pretty bad, actually. All right, so next up, they came on abortions. I'm not going to touch on abortions too much. I'm not going to put no 2 cents in. I'm not a woman. I am a father, and I think that, if it's if it's a medical emergency, of course, but everybody should live with their decisions. And if, it came down to rape or something like that, don't keep it. All right, so Nikki Haley, I'm a pro-lifer, all right? I'm a ban late-term abortions. Doctors who don't believe in it shouldn't have to do it. We shouldn't put women in jail for abortions. Cool. Yeah. Ron DeSantis, he signed for the heartbeat bill. All right, he has the sob story about, well, I wouldn't say a sob story. It was actually a sad story. So there was a lady that he was friends with. I don't remember the name. Parents tried to abort her a couple times. She still made it out on top. Shout out to her. And, he's kind of just all pro-lifer. He did not want to say a specific date, so I'll leave that up to you. But he is a definite no on term abortions or up to the birth of child. And I am definitely behind that. Up to the birth, you're fucking tripping, bitch. All right, Mike Pence, pro-lifer. Of course, he's gonna be straight on it. He was shaking his head so hard on the stage. All right, hella hard. He goes in to talk about how he gave his life to Jesus and that his life he brought his purpose to be this pro-life. So he's all about no abortions, and he even said that 15 Up to 15 weeks, basically. So if you were to have abortion within 15 weeks, that's cool. Nikki Haley actually rebuttals and says that, or he actually says that 70% of Americans believe that, up to 15 weeks is, what's it called? 70% of Americans believe that up to 15 weeks is an acceptable number. I definitely believe that. I think that after that, it's kind of, a no-no, for sure. I believe that is the first term, the first 15 weeks, the first 3 months, 4, 8, 12. That's more than 3 months. That's more than the first term. Damn. All right. Nikki Haley comes back and says 70% of the Senate doesn't believe that shit. So don't lie to the American people. So thank you, Nikki Haley, for saying that. You are 100% right. If you're voting these people into the Senate, this is your fucking fault. All right. Doug, no abortion bans. All right. Leave it up to the state. Leave it up to the people. We have the 10th Amendment that protects us from it. That's where he stands. Firm. I get you, Doug. Keep it solid. All right. Tim Scott, no abortions on demand. All right. 15-week limit. That's where he stands. Like, all right, cool. The preacher guy is telling you 15 weeks. I think that's pretty generous from a Bible pusher. All right. So from here, they talk about the homelessness crisis. They basically put it on, COVID hit. We've been, paying people, depression, blah, blah, up the police, yeah. So they're all on the same page about it. I found that to be kind of useless. So this is where Trump's video with Tucker Carlson ended, okay? So they went on break after this. So here's a couple of things that I found, and I did some research. I went and watched PBD, Pat, Bet David, and they were talking about this. So they were there at the event, right? And they were seeing who was friends with who. And you wouldn't believe it, but Ron DeSantis and Chris Christie was, butt buddies at the event. So the cameras went off. They were over here, swapping ideas, I'm guessing. So I'll leave it up to you guys. But as soon as I heard that, I went back and I rewatched it from when they were talking about that, to the point that we're going to talk about right now. And it made me sick to my stomach, honestly. All right. So Chris Christie, somebody that we kind of already know isn't really going to be the president, all right? He's just out here making a fool of himself, and he's going to be, shit-talking Donald Trump. That's his whole campaign, is to shit-talk Donald Trump, okay? So if that doesn't put 2 and 2 together for you, we got Ron DeSantis in number 2, and then we got shit-talking Chris Christie, all right? And then Donald Trump's video with Tucker Carlson just ended. It was about 45 minutes long. Hopefully you guys go watch that. Shout out to Tucker Carlson. Keep doing what you're doing. So cameras come back on. Everybody's back on stage. First thing they talk about is Donald Trump is getting taken to prison today. He said that he's taken to jail in Georgia today, and they're going to be arresting him, and he's turned himself in Georgia. And I did actually go and check Twitter, and they got a whole bunch of people just waiting outside the Georgia prison, and they're all out there like blacks for Trump. Everybody's out there. They're going crazy right now. They're waiting for him to show up and show him some love. I'm glad that they're out there, and I'm sure he's alone. I'm sure that he doesn't have a lot of people, especially politically, that are out there supporting him. I know he's got his family, but they're all public figures too. They can't just be out in the streets. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that he's getting support. And think what you think. Everybody's human. I don't even know what the charges are on him right now. Hopefully I'm I'm gonna do some research and I'll come back to you guys on that. But they come back to the stage and they start talking about, all right, Mike Pence. No, not Mike Pence. So he's getting arrested today. If he's found as, and if he gets indicted and they find him criminally charged, will you guys took a vow, will you guys still support him? All right, Vivek instantly, wah! Yeah, I'm supporting him. I'm like, all right. And then everybody else look around like, oh shit, yeah. So Nikki Haley, all of them. And then, bruh, we were just talking about it. Ron DeSantis looks at Hassan Hutchinson and Chris Christie, and we're like, oh, their hands are down. All right, whatever. Looks over, everybody else's hands up. He goes, oh. I shit you not. That doesn't show character. I don't know what does. All right. Then they kind of get into, did Mike Pence do the right thing on January 6th and didn't, recall the election, all that shit. Chris Christie does a whole speech on Donald Trump. Like, so basically they were like, so Chris Christie goes in there and he's like, so I saw you weren't raising your hand. So he was like pretending to raise his hand. He was like, no, did the whole finger wave. Does a whole speech on Donald Trump about, he knows what he did is wrong, blah, 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 blah. And then he's talking shit about Donald Trump on stage. Obviously, he's not even fucking there. How is he even the center of attention right now? And so basically, Ron DeSantis gets the next question. It was like, you think Mike Pence did the right thing? I think that we need to focus on what's going on in the country right now. And I think that if I was president, so, you know what I mean? They're trying to spin this whole thing. Basically, he goes on and says, what we need to focus on is not what happened January 6, 2021. What we need to focus on is January 2025 when I'm going to go and become president. I'm like, damn, bro. All right. So we got Chris Christie over here shit talking Donald Trump, and then we got Ron DeSantis over here. What we need to really worry on is fuck 2021 January 6th. We need to focus on January 2025 so I can go become president. So I'm gonna leave it there. But what do you guys think? If you guys made it to this part of the video, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about this. I think it's a conspiracy just waiting to happen, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Alright. So then Mike Pence gets into his preacher mode. He's like, I did the right thing. I did it for America, for the Constitution. I was like, all right. And then Vivek goes in and says, shut up, bitch. If you become president, are you going to pardon Donald Trump? And then Mike Pence just ran around the question. He was like, yeah, whatever, bro. I'm not sitting here talking to you, Vivek. So Vivek is a gangster, bro. He's over here shooting up rounds with all these politicians. Like, damn, that's crazy to me. So then Mike Pence does a whole speech about fucking, he put his hand on Ronald Reagan's Bible. All right. So then they start getting into the whole Ukraine deal. All right. Ron DeSantis goes in first. So basically the question is, do you guys believe that we should be in Ukraine or supporting Ukraine? Ron DeSantis goes first. I think Europe needs to pull their fucking weight. I think they need to, help out. So he's pro-Ukraine. All right, y'all. I think that, well, I wouldn't say pro-Ukraine. I think that he is going to not pull us out of Ukraine. He might not send soldiers out there, but I don't think that he's going to not support them. Paid by PAC motherfucker. All right. He done lost my vote for sure. And hopefully all y'all are listening to this. But Basically saying, I'm not going to send troops to Ukraine. I'm going to send them to the southern border. Say something. Vivek Ramaswamy says, I will not. He straight up came out and said, I will not support the war in Ukraine. It is a pointless war. They're just going to keep doing what the hell they did in Iraq. They're going to keep doing what we did in Vietnam. It's a pointless war that nobody's going to come out on top. There's nothing we're there for, bro. All right. What we need to do is protect our own freaking borders. And then everybody goes batshit crazy on Vivek now, all right? So Mike Pence comes out and says, we can do both, all right? And we can't just give away we just can't do this whole giveaway of Ukraine to Russia. And then, Vivek comes out, the real communist enemy is China. And we are just pushing Russia into China's arms. So I know that you guys, if you've been keeping up with Vivek, this is what he's been running on his whole campaign. All right? There's nothing new. They already know his position. And if they don't, they're fucking dumb. But I'm glad that he got some pushback on it. And I'm glad that he stood his 10 toes down on the floor and he was a G about it. He's like, no, I'm not going to support Ukraine. I don't care what any of you guys say. So we're just pushing China and Russia together. So I'm not trying to start another war like we did with Iraq and what we did with the Vietnam. All we're gonna do is lose American people, all in the name of freaking trying to stop communism. The SSR is no longer existing. It's just Putin now. All right. Then Nikki Haley comes out. A win for Russia is a win for China. Okay. Putin killed. Oh yeah. So if you guys didn't know, the guy from Blackstone, I don't remember. It's the anti-Putin group. They were gonna do a coup in Russia, and Putin done blew up his plane. That day, yesterday. So then he kind of goes in on Vivek and he's like, you ain't got no foreign policy experience, and it freaking shows, bro. She did the snap move. I was like, damn, all right. Then Mike Pence puts his 2 cents in, is that we need to show peace. We need to be out here showing strength. And how do we get peace? Peace is through strength. I was like, all right, yo. So that was probably the biggest part of the whole deal. I've been said I don't like what we're doing in Ukraine. No, it shouldn't be a giveaway, but we also shouldn't be funding the whole fucking war. All right. I think our biggest problem is China, for sure. We got China over here in Canada running Trudeau, and we got China in Mexico, literally on the other side of the border. You can look up YouTube or TikTok videos of their freaking Chinese stands, their Chinese strip clubs. Like, they're over there. They're very prevalent in Mexico. This is not anything new. All right. So the last person to speak on this was Tim Scott, and this is where he lost me 100%, completely done, over with. I'm done with this guy. It's like, we need $15 billion to build the wall, or actually it was $10 billion to build the wall, to finish the rest of the wall, then an extra $5 billion to put whatever we need to keep the drug cartels out, to enforce the wall. All right. So yeah, you done lost me with that one. He's a part of the swamp. Okay, you guys. Tim Scott. Didn't like this guy. I've been told you guys that he ain't shit. All right. Whoever put the $300 million or $300,000 towards him, that was a waste of money. I'm sorry for you. Not really, but I'm sorry for you. All right. So that was the end of the GOP debate. Let me know if you guys liked this video, if you guys made it all the way to the end. I thought it was a great debate. It really showed everybody's colors, everybody's character. Again, the winners, in my idea, just to be brief about it, and you know, hopefully you guys find that what I said was helpful. So Vivek came out on top for me, for sure. Ron DeSantis came pretty close second. Nikki Haley actually did really good, even though she's over here warmongering. But you know, Tim Scott done took a L. Mike P is just taking L's left and right. Honestly, I think he's just out here to save face. I think that he's just pumping until, you know, he just can't no more. And good for him. Hassan Hutchinson never had a chance. All right. Chris Christie, garbage. And then Doug, I like you, Doug. Keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, hopefully everybody's liked this video. Leave me a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.